we only have one place to start, which is the 1-0 victory over Manchester United on the opening weekend of the Premier League season. Quite a painful watch if you're a fan of both teams, I guess. If you're a United fan, just they couldn't break through. If you're an Arsenal fan, they were under the cosh for so long. But it's an opening win at Old Trafford. We used to dream of getting wins away to Man United. So in spite of the performance, do we have to be pleased at the fact that Arsenal have gone to Man United and beaten them away from home?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a fantastic result. Brilliant result. Yes, the performance wasn't great, but result-wise, superb. To start the season away at Old Trafford, a ground which has just been miserable place for Arsenal over the years. To go there, there was a real atmosphere going on. It was Arsenal very much spoilt the party, I thought there. There was a lot of narrative about the money United spent. This was going to be a new Man United. The excitement levels was there. You could hear it in the crowd. They were up for it. The new players were up for it. And Arsenal won. It's a fantastic result to start the season. Given the start Arsenal have got as well, how difficult the fixtures are in the next sort of month or so. It was so important to get some points on the board early. And so to go and win and get 3 points and come home, just fantastic. You could see how happy Mikel Arteta was afterwards. Yes, the performance wasn't great, but it was all about the result at the weekend, and Arsenal got that.
Yes, the result. I think every Arsenal win at Old Trafford in the Premier League has been by a goal to nil. They do
Mm.
love a 1-0 win there. But like you said, the performance itself, we can't gloss over that because it was quite a concerning display, if you will, even though Arsenal did get the 3 points. Would you say that there was sort of 24, 25 vibes to that performance? There was obviously Arsenal won via a set piece goal, which was maybe inevitable. Not a lot of chance creation from open play. Did we see a lot of the old Arsenal problems coming back in that game?
I don't know. I don't think we did, to be honest. I thought it was a very different performance, especially the first half anyway. It was a completely different sort of Arsenal performance. And they didn't create that much, but they should have done. There was four, five, six even excellent opportunities for Arsenal to create, a really good chance on goal in that first half. The amount of transition moments they had, the breakaways they had, the 3-on-3s, 4-on-4s, and they just got it wrong each time in terms of the runs that were being made or the final pass. So they should have created more. They had the opportunities to. It was very different. I mean, Mikel called it a basketball game afterwards, and that's what it was. And that's not typical Arsenal, is it? You go back to last season's games, and they weren't basketball games. It was attack against defence. It was low block and a team struggling to break that low block down. It didn't feel like that at the weekend. It was a completely different sort of game that we usually see when it comes to Arsenal. It was a little bit more similar in the second half. I thought Arsenal sorted themselves out a little bit. The basketball sort of style nature of the game wasn't quite as apparent as it was in the first half, and Arsenal looked a lot more comfortable at the back than they did in the first half. So there was a little bit of similarities there, maybe as the game wore on, and you can understand that because Arsenal were thinking, well, we've got a lead here, we've got to make sure we hold on to this and protect it. But first half, I thought it was very different. It was a different sort of Arsenal. They attack differently, and it's very much a work in progress. I think if that is how Arsenal are going to play, especially away from home, if they get those opportunities, if they want to play more on the transition, then they're definitely going to have to get better at taking advantage of those situations when they have them.
Yeah, there were quite a few moments where, just like you said, that final pass was lacking. But
No, I
what
mean there was literally about six or seven in the game, like really good opportunity, and not one of them even led to a shot on goal, which was remarkable when you see the situations how they unfolded. Not one single one of them ended up with a shot on goal because of a bad pass or because of runs that were just not the sort of runs that needed to be made, and everyone was kind of running in three of them running in the same direction, very narrow, weren't stretching the play. And Mikel, I'm sure the coaching staff will be sitting down at Colney with the players on in front of the TVs this week, looking at those situations, and we cannot afford not to take advantage of these situations if we get into them. Because, yeah, Arsenal could have had that game out of sight in the first half with the, if that was Liverpool would have scored four or five that day, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of that, of course, that was Gyökeres's first competitive start. They're working out how to. We'll talk about Gyökeres a bit later, but of course they're working out how to play with him in the attack. But looking at Arsenal's, so the goal came from a set piece, as we said, and it was this new set piece routine that we saw. We saw a bit of it in pre-season with rather than players overloading the back post, there were four or five waiting on the edge of the box and then crashing the 6 yard area. Fury, who scored the winner, wasn't one of those. He was sort of waiting at the back post, and then the Bayindir error, the ball came to him. This new set piece routine, or Nicholas Jova special, if you like, do you think we might see a lot of that this season? The previous set piece routine, do you think teams sort of figured it out, or will it depend on, Man United are a weak team from set pieces? Will we see different routines for different teams, perhaps?
I think you'll probably see different routines. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it helped for Arsenal's sake that they had a ridiculously poor goalkeeper in goal to try and deal with that situation. It was so weak. How Ruben Amorim could stand in front of the TV cameras after the game and try and pretend that there was a foul there when there clearly wasn't. It was just really weak goalkeeping. The United players did exactly the same thing in the second half to David Raya, and David Raya was forceful, came, punched the ball away, did exactly what your goalkeeper needs to do. I think we'll see him mix things up. I thought it was interesting. In pre-season, we saw lots and lots and lots of short corners. It was really apparent. You never see Arsenal take short corners. And I do think that was just a case of Jova and the team thinking, why are we going to show the world what we're going to do when the Premier League season starts? So let's just take short corners and keep everyone guessing for when the season starts. And it was interesting seeing them line up like that. It obviously worked on that occasion. Brilliant ball in from Declan Rice. Of course, as I said, really weak goalkeeping. And Calafiori got the goal. So, I mean, it is same old Arsenal in a way when you look at it that way. 1-0, good defensive display in the second half. Set piece proves a difference. So, yeah, kind of similarity there to what we've all come to expect. But, look, Arsenal are always going to take advantage of set pieces because that's what they need to do. If you got players who can attack the ball really well, if you've got players who can put in brilliant deliveries like Saka can from one side and Rice in from the other side, got to take advantage of that. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's a strength. Play to it, score the goals and win games. That's what football's all about.